fellow Southern Cameroonians, my dear people of Ambazonia, fellow soldiers of our revolution, our young boys and girls of the never again generation. Today is the first day of the month of March in the year of our Lord 2019. I bring you revolutionary greetings. I bring you this piece of very important and very sensitive news. That the Federal High Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Abuja has today, the 1st of March 2019, passed an important ruling. That court has passed judgment in the matter linking Sisiku AyukTabe and all the members of his cabinet and all other Southern Cameroonians who were abducted, kidnapped in Nigeria and forcefully transferred to Cameroon to be judged before a military court. My dear brothers and sisters of Southern Cameroon, if anyone wanted greater evidence that the hand of God is in our struggle, then you definitely have something very big before you. The Federal Court or the Federal High Court in Abuja, Nigeria, ruled that it was wrong. It was a violation of the rights of these individuals who already were granted refugee status. Some were already asylees in Nigeria to have been kidnapped and forcefully transferred to Cameroon to be court-martialed. That same court has ruled asking the Nigerian government to ensure that the deportees are returned to Nigeria. The same court finds that serious injustices were meted out on these people. That court notes that the trauma and every other form of degrading treatment these people have faced deserves compensation. That is why the same court ruled that each of the people involved in the Naira abduction be given the sum of 5 million Naira in some kind of rehabilitation, while the other 57, there were first of all a total of 47, including the 10, because 37 were brought in from Taraba, and later on others were arrested, were kidnapped in Calabar, and also deported to La République du Cameroon forcefully. So a total of all this gives 57. And so, beside the Naira 10, to whom 5 million Naira each has been awarded, 200,000 Naira has been awarded to each of the other 47. I believe that some people in some quarters will laugh out and say, but wait a minute, what will the court in Nigeria do to force La République du Cameroon to send these people back to Nigeria? That will be a total demonstration of some kind of naivety, because these people have made clear before the law courts in La République du Cameroon, they are not Cameroonians. These people are already or were already covered by international instruments to which La République du Cameroon and Nigeria are parties. They were granted international protection and placed under the protection of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So what we should be saying now is that we have to settle back and look at the Buhari administration to prove to us now that Nigeria is a state of law. To prove to us now that Nigeria is not a banana republic. So the entire world is now watching. And I think this is also an important landmark in our quest for the restoration of the independence of the Southern Cameroons. If you are still standing on the sidelines and thinking that we are in this struggle as a matter of child's play, you need to rethink. You need to rethink your involvement. You need to rethink your engagement. And you need to plan to become very much part of the struggle. It is true that we are facing quite some misgivings with respect to the management of the struggle at several levels. But all the same, no one planned to go on a revolution. But all the same, no human endeavor is ever perfect from the start. What I need us to note here is that you just ask a good lot of successful people you know around the world. They will show you behind them several years of rising and falling, several years of failures. But all the same, it is the tenacity that they had to succeed that made them to continue rising each time they fell. That is why in our restoration quest, it is important for us at every given point to still always consider gathering the pieces together and making sure we sit down, address our differences, address our problems, and then continue to focus on our struggle. This leads me to saying one very important thing. Because faced with the current situation we're in now, at this stage of our struggle, the conference that Dr. Fontaine initiated and proposed as an open, all-encompassing come-together, and which has been embraced by a quasi-totality of the liberation movements, is an important avenue for all of us to come together. Be you a federalist, be you even a unitarist, and be you a pro-independentist or an independentist. We have to come together. We have to come together and examine a good lot of things that a good lot of people are yet to take into consideration. If you are talking to Western diplomats, be them in Yaoundé or around the world, you will know that our people are being killed in the name of the French Republic. For those of us who had the opportunity to read a novel, it was written by Albert Camus. The title of it was L'étranger, or Is l'étranger. Some people call it The Stranger. You notice that the lead character, Mersault, commits an offense, commits a crime, and he's sentenced to death, and he's told he will be killed in a public place in the name of the French Republic, and this is in Algeria. He doesn't understand why a Nigerian like him, who has committed a crime in Algeria, will be killed in a public place in the name of the French Republic. That's exactly what is happening to the people of Southern Cameroons. We are being slaughtered every day in the name of the French Republic. We are being slaughtered because La République Française wants to continue having unfettered, unchecked, and unorthodox access to our natural resources. The natural resources located on the territory of Southern Cameroons have become the curse upon our heads, because the French had rather had all 8 million or more Southern Cameroonians killed for them to have their interests than have us alive and live free. If you are talking to these Western diplomats, they will tell you that some will even be as audacious as telling you that if we are too lucky, we may come out of this struggle with some kind of regionalization that will still meet a lot of centralization, because the French don't want to have anything to discuss with Southern Cameroonians concerning their resources. The French want to keep having their way, the way it is right now. And that is why, in spite of this struggle raging, in spite of the war going on, in spite of the killings that are going on, France is busy struggling to make sure that through La République du Cameroun, they destroy the last vestiges of our educational system that we're fighting to protect. And the reason is simple. The French are angry that in the first place they ever allowed us to pursue that particular Anglo-Saxon educational system that has made us so enlightened that we are able to see exactly what damage they are doing to our people. That is the difference between the two peoples across the River Mongo. While those on the other side, let me call them Francophones, can't raise a finger, can't say anything because they are not even, first of all, aware. Because of the wishy-washy educational system being dished out to them, the French are at a loss to realize that over the years they have not succeeded in destroying our educational system to bring us to that same level. This is the crux of the matter. That is why today, even the people of La République du Cameroun do not realize that their sons and daughters who are in the army, who are also dying in southern Cameroon, are dying in the name of the French Republic, are dying pour la République Française. They haven't understood this. Because if they did, nobody will be engaged in this silly and stupid war. But what I like the world to quickly understand is that the people of southern Cameroon are no longer afraid of death. And this is a very dangerous level. When someone is no longer afraid of death, it tells you to what extent he can go. We, the people of southern Cameroon, are determined that the French will only have all 8 million of us killed before being able to subject our land to their kind of approach. For those who think that La République du Cameroun and their puppet president, Mr. Paul Biya, just got up and declared war on southern Cameroon from nowhere, no, take note. That as Otto von Clausewitz says, that war is simply the continuation of politics by other means. The French realized that because they had failed to destroy our educational system, because they had failed to brainwash us into worshipping them and doing exactly what they want, exactly what the people on the other side of the Mongo can do, become passive, become simply, declare yourselves victim of circumstances you think you cannot control. Because they failed to do that through politics, they told themselves the only way to do it is by war. That is why the French are determined, through La République du Cameroun, to kill all southern Cameroon male children. If you have your son hiding anywhere as an IDP, in the forest or whatever, better run and protect those children. Even those who are on the territory of La République, fleeing for freedom, are not safe. Because La République du Cameroun, an agent of France, is after all our sons. And the reason is simple. They believe that if they kill all our sons, they will be able to impose their will on us. They will be able to force us to stay in a marriage we are not enjoying. This is why the conference initiated and proposed by Dr. Fontaine Nebafoteka, the All Southern Cameroon People's Conference, finds its justification. That is why it is an important replacement of what Cardinal Tomi wanted to do on the territory in Boya without success. Let all federalists, let all unitarists, and let all independentists come together. Let us have a conversation. Let us talk to one another. Let us exchange notes. At this point, we will be able to tell the world at the end of the day the consensus we have come to. We will be able to tell the world what we want, to tell the world how best we believe the Southern Cameroon's question needs to be addressed. Because if the Southern Cameroon's question is not addressed appropriately, in such a way that the solution found is a lasting solution, there will never be peace in the Gulf of Guinea. This is something everyone needs to know. Don't go and be fighting people on WhatsApp forums, on Facebook platforms and all whatnot. Oh, you federalists are sellouts. Oh, you independentists are dreamers. Oh, you unitarists are criminals. No, let us come sit together, have a conversation together. I am convinced that by the time we exchange notes, Each person tells the other what they know, how they feel, and why we each hold the various positions that we hold. We will come to a compromise, and we will come up with resolutions that will enable the wider world better understand our situation and know how best they can contribute in ensuring that we get to the kind of solution that will please all parties. This is the basic importance of that conference. Someone asked a question after my last presentation: who is sponsoring this conference? And the answer is simple. Because this conference is by Southern Cameroonians, for Southern Cameroonians, and in the interest of Southern Cameroonians, this conference is going to be sponsored, and it's already being sponsored basically by Southern Cameroonians through simple contributions. That is why when the leaders met with the initiator of this conference, Dr. Fontemneba Afoteka, and even at the time we met with Mr. Eli Smith and Reverend Chia, who came in from Cameroon, the agreement was simple. There will be a conference fee, a participation fee of $50 per person. This will simply be to enable the organizers offset the cost of renting a hall, offset the cost of the various logistics involved. And at the end of it, we're going to have a giant fundraiser that is definitely going to be used to take care of the IDPs and other serious needs of our struggle. My dear brothers and sisters, it makes a lot of sense for us to appropriate to ourselves this conference. Reason, we must all contribute in one way or the other to make it successful. It is likely going to be one of the poorest conferences. I say so because the organization or the logistics that are being proposed are so minimal to the point where it is just the necessary that is going to be taken care of. Just what is needed, which means no excesses, nothing. Because the big thing here is for us to talk to ourselves. It's for us to exchange views, for us to exchange notes, and for us to come up with a blueprint to the world as to what needs to be done for the people of Southern Cameroons to live as humans. If you are doubting that slavery and servitude is still ongoing in the world, better look at exactly what is happening to the people of Africa. The French understood that physical slavery and servitude was too visible and would be deemed too inhuman. That is why they switched to economic slavery and servitude. So Africans will work all their lives for the French people to live lavishly. We have to say no to this. If the French haven't learned from what happened in Rwanda, then they need yet another lesson. Today, we can all see that after the ganglia France was chased out of Rwanda, Rwanda is today a development hub. Rwanda is today the talk of the world for the good reasons, not for the bad one. My dear people, I'd like us to keep reminding the French and reminding the world at large that the people of Southern Cameroon are no longer afraid of death. So if they go from the perspective that a corpse cannot be afraid of the grave, then they should realize very fast that Mr. Biya is able to capture Mr. Kamto, capture all those who oppose him in that country and throw them in jail and sit quiet, and the place is quiet because the people of La République du Cameroon are still afraid of death. The people of La République du Cameroon have not understood that where they are living, they are mobile corpses. There's no difference between them and those who are already in the grave, living without dignity. The people of Southern Cameroons have chosen the right option. We will all die or we live free. To God be the glory.